Okay. Next part is fire alarm and voice evacuation system. So before we started our takeoff and prepare the BOQ, we want to clearly understand about fire alarm and voice evacuation systems accessories, right? So the first one, the important part is the smoke detector, right? So this is the smoke detector, detect the smoke when the fire is happening your room or your office. The smoke detector is detect the smoke, right? So this is the kind of smoke detectors, and you can see this is the isolator. So this is a smoke detector only, but this is the with isolator, right? Smoke detector with isolator, right? Okay. Next, these are the heat detectors. When the fire happen or any heat happens in your sometime AC systems in your ductworks or some kind of rooms, right? Or kitchen. No, we can't use the heat detector in our kitchens, right? Because kitchen always heat, right? So if you use you heat detector in kitchen or sometime also smoke detector in kitchen, the usually in kitchen there is a smoke, there is a heat, right? So that's a usual thing. So if we use heat or smoke detector in kitchen, that's not useful, right? This detect continuously, so that's a huge problem. So the heat detectors, smoke detectors used to rooms and halls and also in a duct system like that, right? Okay, this is the heat detector with isolator and smoke detector with sound. There is a sound. This the types, right? This is the market, the marketly available types. So this is the smoke detector with sound. Okay, now you can see this is the duct. These are the duct, right? I have a separate lecture series for ductwork and ductwork takeoff, right? So there you can understand how to take off the ductworks and ducts. So now you can get this the you can see here. This is the duct mounted smoke detector. When there any fires happen in your ductwork, so the duct smoke detectors detect the smokes. Then it's stop. It's close your duct, right? It close your duct, right? There is a fire damper or sometimes smoke dampers available in your duct, so it can be converted it actuators, and then it's detect a fire, right? Okay. Now this accessory you can see remote alarm LED. So remote indicator units provides an extension for LED indicators on hidden detection devices to allow their status to be observed without having to expose the detection device itself. That means the remote detector units, this is the remote detector unit, right? Remote alarm LED provide an extension for LED indicators. This is the LED remote alarm LED, right? Fire detector activated, right? Here you can, this is the fire, this is the detector activated. So LED indicators on hidden detection devices to allow their status to be observed without having to expose the detection device itself, right? Okay. Now you can see this is the pull stations, right? Manually pull station. There are two type of pull station available: automatic and manual pull stations. So this is the manual pull station. So this sends the notification to the fire alarm control panel to trigger the alarms. Once a manual pull has been activated, right? Once a manual pull has been activated, the manual pull station sends a notification to the fire alarm control panel to trigger the alarms, right? Okay. This also manual pull station. It to be installed in wet or west down areas, right? Sorry, wet or west down areas, the such as the kitchens, meat packing plants, showers, outdoors, cafeterias, like that, right? So you can here you can see here you if any fire happen, you can lift here. In case of fire, you can pull the fire alarm, right? Ceiling mounted fire alarm speaker. This is the ceiling mounted fire alarm speaker. So you know how to work the fire alarm. So if a fire happens, the fire alarm is speak, right? Fire alarm is activated. So we can understand there is a fire. So it's easy to announce announce. For example, the fire happens in your house, so it's easy to announce. Or hotel, if a fire happens a hotel or shopping malls, when a fire alarm speaks in your occupants, right? Occupant can clearly understand there's a fire, so it can help to reallocate a new another place, right? Or out the building, right? Wall mounted fire alarm speaker, right? This is a wall mounted. These are type, right? This is the ceiling mounted. This is the wall mounted also. Wall mounted fire alarm speaker with the flash. There's a flash, right? Here it's a manual flasher, right? Indoor appliance. So it's a manual flasher. Wall mounted fire alarm speaker with flash. This is also a flasher. This is a fire alarm. This is a wall mounted. This is also a wall mounted, right? Okay. Next one, wall mounted fire alarm sounder with flasher. This is a fire alarm sounder, right? This is fire alarm speaker and this is a fire alarm sounder, right? Wall mounted strobe. Wall mounted strobe, right? This is a strobe. So the horn strobe is a type of alarm for your fire alarm system that not only releases a loud noise when the fire alarm is activated. Normally using the corridor areas, right? So in your corridor areas, you can see the strobe, right? Wall mounted strobe. So the horn strobe is a type of alarm for your fire alarm system that not only releases a loud noise when the fire alarm is activated, right? And also wall mounted fire alarm flash and a fire telephone jack, right? So firefighters telephone jack, right? Okay. And you can see here this is the single input monitor module. This is the dual single input monitor module of these are the if a fault condition occurs in a wiring. So in your fire system is very important for your building, right? So sometime there's a fault occurs in your wiring. So if a fault conditions occurs in the wiring, the modules send the trouble status signals to the fire alarm control panel, right? So there's a two types, the single input monitor module and dual single input monitor module, right? Okay. And control relay module. This is the relays usually relays that activate when the panel is in alarm, is in trouble or have a supervisory alarm, and some have relays that can be programmed to indicate a specific condition. This relays transition when the fire system is in the condition required to generate the alarm. The context can signal another panel, alert the fire department, or activate a dialer to call personnel. Other relays are used in the system and installed at distant locations to generate output functions such as capturing elevators, stopping air conditioners, or closing vents, notify concerns agencies, cut off the electrical power, right? Okay, now you can see this is the single input riser module.